Hi guys, how's it going today? Doing some more resin work today. I figured I'd bring you along for the ride. I did get most of this mixed before I turned my camera on because it takes a little while to mix all this stuff. And I'm going to do the last color here in front of you guys. And one of the things you want to remember when working with resin, the couple of the most important things, is making sure your measurements are accurate and equal, and making sure everything is stirred really, really, really well. Now, I chose a variety of mediums like I did the other day. I've got acrylic paint, I've got liquid paint, I've got Lumiere paint right here. This is acrylic, that's Naples yellow. These are mica powders, so I've got some mica powders. And I added some diamond dust to a couple of them from Stone Coat. And again, you can use pretty much any type of medium you want to, and you're not really limited very much by what you can do with resin. It's just a really versatile medium to use. So I'm going to put just a little bit of the clear in both of the bottoms of these, not much. And hopefully I'll have a little bit left over for more. So now that we have that in the ocean, the darkest part of the ocean is at the bottom. So we're going to put our darkest color in here. We're just going to put a little bit on this. And a little bit on this one. And just let these colors kind of work around, work themselves out. And even though I really mixed this well, I'm finding that there's still just a few pigments that aren't mixed as well as I'd like them to be. I guess that's not the worst thing that could happen, because it'll just make it look like the natural things in nature. Hang on. So on top of that, I'm going to add just a touch. This is a little bit heavier because this is a heavy-bodied acrylic that I'm using, so it's a little bit thicker. And now at this point here, we're going to take a quick break and take the torch and get all these air bubbles out of here. And I'm going to grab my heat gun and try to get a few of these things moved around just a touch. So let this heat up a little bit and kind of just start working it. There we go. You want it to try to mimic water. You know, so you've got your lighter sections in the water, you've got your darker sections in the water, you've got your various depths and so forth. And then we're going to come in here with some lighter colors. So this is a very, very pretty blue. I'm going to bring this into the mix. I'll do the same thing over here. Get all this used up. And if you notice, I'm kind of putting everything in the middle because it will get moved around as I work with this. So at this point here, oh, no. Oh well, I made a boo-boo. Stuff happens. So at this point here, I'm just going to take my stir stick here and kind of work these colors together and create an interesting little pattern here so that you don't see just one color on top of the other. You get to see them kind of mixed up and interacting with each other, which is what they would do if you were actually in the ocean. And then on top of this, I have this really lovely, lovely aqua color that I put some of the Stone Coat diamond glitter in, the diamond dust, which makes things just look so, so, so pretty. So we're starting to build our layers now, and get things to where you're starting to see layers of paint. And again, we're going to come in here with our popsicle stick, or our stir stick. Just kind of mix this around a little bit, like you would see in the ocean, where you have light hitting the ocean sometimes in one direction or the other. On top of that, we're getting sort of close to the top, but I can get just a touch more in here. So we're going to put this really, really pretty light color in here. And again, each color that I do now, I'm going to be working it through so that, you know, you can see the layers of the water. You can see the layers of the color. So I'm going to just come in here and kind of thin this out a little bit. And this is starting to look half decent. They're actually looking quite nice. And then on top of this, here comes the fun part. Let me give this a quick torch. Keep getting the bubbles out as I go. Every couple of layers, I'll give it a quick torch and let the bubbles come up to the surface. And you'll probably have to torch this several times. And then we're going to take some of this really pretty white and we're going to just lay it across like it's waves. And we're going to come back in here and do it again. Let's bring it across. And we're going to do it again and again. Last one for this side. We're going to go in on the other side and do pretty much the same thing. It's funny, no matter how many times you do this, you can use the same colors, you can layer them the same way. They'll always look just slightly different than each other. And actually right now, I wish the camera could pick up the depth that's in this, because it's actually starting to look like there's so many layers of water here. And there's so many layers that are going through this whole thing. It's actually really quite nice to see. So we'll get just a little more white in here. And here comes my favorite part. I don't add much gold, but this is Maron gold. This stuff is like liquid gold. It is beautiful. And if you just put a tiny bit in on a couple of the areas that have the white, it'll actually look really pretty after you use the heat gun to it. It's actually really lovely to look at. And you don't want a whole lot of gold. You just want little flecks of it here and there near the white. Just to show a little bit of shimmer, a little bit of color. And this stuff is so pretty. I love, love, love this one. I just like color, period. I mean, I know I say I love all the colors, and I do. Color is very exciting for me. So that's enough for that side. We'll get a little bit over here. And once you see the finished product, when I unmold these tomorrow, hopefully they will look absolutely stunning. So I'll just put a little bit here. And that's all the gold I'm going to use, is just little bit. We're going to come in here again with our heat gun. I'm just going to move this around very gently. You want to make this look like waves a little bit. Kind of give it a little bit of interest, but you don't want to move it around too much. Oops. So come in here and kind of push this stuff around a little bit. All right, and these are almost up to the top. I was going to save just a touch. I think I've still got just enough room to put a little bit of clear on top of this. And so we're going to put a little bit of clear in here on top and make it look like it's got even more depth. So it kind of makes the top area kind of fade back into the waves. And then we're going to give it a torch and one quick last blow. Get my heat gun out and just give it another pass. And you don't want it to work it too much, not when you've got it in molds, because you don't want your resin kind of flying out of the mold and all over you or your surface or what have you. But you want to be able to get just a little bit of movement in there instead of, you know, everything being straight lined and so forth. So this is a really good way to add another layer of depth to the color and make the painting look like it's recessed underwater, or the pigments, I should say, make it look like it's recessed underwater. So, and we got just a little bit more here, so we'll get that in here. Awesome. So that's what we have for that, and I did make a mess here, which I'll clean up in a little bit. But before I do that, or maybe not before I do that, maybe I'll do this first, just so I don't get all this stuff too mucky. Yeah, there we go. That was bothering me a little bit, seeing all that there. And I have a little pad here on the floor that I keep for my throwaway stuff. And then I just clean up the pad and put the whole thing in the garbage. So, like I said, I'm not trying to push too much around. I'm just trying to get a little bit of movement in here. Not a whole lot. And I think we'll come in here and move this way a little bit. And move it back that way a little bit. And I think I'm going to call these 2 a day. I think they're pretty good. I will be doing some other resin projects in a moment before this resin hardens. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will talk to you later. Bye.